Hi everyone, Justin Banon, founder at Boson Protocol here. And today we are talking about Boson's luxury strategy. And I have with me one of our very esteemed advisors, Noelle Reno. Noelle, so you're at the intersection really of lots of startups, particularly in Web3, and then also the markets that are adopting Web3 across luxury, fashion, and many more. And then also very embedded within the sort of investor community. So the way I view you is sort of sitting in the middle of these three cohorts and very much just connecting and helping one side of the market understand the other. But please, welcome and tell us a bit more about yourself.
I think you did a very fantastic job of introducing where I sit and what I'm passionate about. So I have a background within luxury brand business development. And as a founder myself, former founder, I've always been very passionate about the adoption of new technologies and new products. So I sit at a very interesting intersection of the market between mass adoption, product and technology, and then finance.
Brilliant. Cool. Okay, so let's start with just talking about, I guess, the current environment. What do you see, what's the current state of the luxury market, particularly in relation to crypto?
Yeah. Well, let me zoom out for a moment and say, with some of the advisory roles that I hold with companies like the Financial Times, what we're seeing is that the luxury consumer has changed. And some of the markets and the audiences and the behaviors that we've seen historically have augmented, and they'll probably never go back to what the luxury market is used to. So an example of that would be China. So a lot of luxury brands have built up a customer base and a revenue stream in certain markets. And we're seeing behavioral changes that I believe are permanent. So I think that as luxury brands reset and restructure, they need to look at new ways to find the consumer, and they need to look at new consumer groups. And then we have this resurgence of crypto, wherein not only are people holding crypto, but new consumers are coming into the market. So I think what we're going to see is that you will have new wealth created within the crypto market, and those people will want to spend money in crypto. And I think that that's where Boson comes in and when Fermion comes in, because you're going to have this new audience who has made their money in crypto. They want to spend their money in crypto.
Absolutely. How and when do you see brands sort of mass adopting crypto again? And what do you think's that process of adoption? What does that look like?
I think that process of adoption of luxury brands moving back into crypto and now really staying, because the cycle is going to be the cycle of adoption. We've already seen how institutional adoption has really progressed in the last year with spot Bitcoin ETFs and with many of the big institutions really building out teams and taking to market product. I think that you are going to see in Q1 of 2025 true adoption and permanent adoption. And so it's a exciting time, and I think a time where luxury brands need to know what is their strategy, and they need to start moving in rather quickly in how they sort of test and learn these markets. What I love about working with the Boson team and yourself is that you really are the most secure, the most trusted, the most developed solution in the market for fractionalizing and trading luxury goods. So now that this is the new norm, I think as of Q1 of 2025, I think it's what luxury brands need to do is think about what is my step into, looking at the future of commerce, the future of luxury commerce, and really start to test and learn.
Brilliant, thank you. So you've been quite instrumental in helping Boson develop its strategy for engaging and signing brand partnerships. Can you sort of talk us through what that strategy looks like?
Let me talk about some of the introductions and some of the partnerships that I think are going to be really a win-win for both sides, Boson and the luxury groups going forward. So I think that you've got, as I was saying before, a lot of the luxury holding companies have restructured. A lot of the independent luxury brands have restructured. They're looking at how they find new revenue streams as the more mature ones have sort of expired. What I think is that I think you have a couple of the luxury groups that are already invested into digital product passports, and they're going to be looking at a solution like a Boson or a Fermion. I think that you have other challenger brands that are coming to market that might not yet be the household brands, and they will be looking at what can we test and learn with to really accelerate our growth. And I think that those more agile challenger brands are going to be the ones that understand that how the future consumers are going to behave. And I think that that's really exciting. So I see within fine jewelry, I see a real edge for Boson. I see within like kind of multi-brand groups, multi-product range, I see them as also a real key product category for Boson. I'm very close with the groups from LVMH to Richemont, as well as some of the fine jewelry kind of groups like the Tiffany's and Cartier. And what they all have in common is that they're all looking at new ways to reach the consumer. Another thing that I see in the market, as I spend a lot of time speaking to the holding companies from Richemont and LVMH to Kering, and then the independent brands, I see a lot of them thinking about how do they approach Gen Z as well as Alpha. And so I think of gaming behaviors within consumer behaviors as like a omnipresent persistent behavior. When we look at the ways that these younger generations discover brands, interact with brands, it is within gaming environments. And I think that that right now is something that is widely accepted. So I think that you're going to have a lot of these luxury brands think about, how am I reaching this younger consumer? Where are they now? Where are they going? And that's going to be in the gaming environments. And that's what I find really exciting about what Boson can offer, is how can you start to raise that awareness with the younger generations, create some engagements, ultimately laddering up to conversions, all based upon how we see these younger generations behaving now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we're seeing this, I think, enormous resurgence in crypto gaming. And of course, we are natively, I mean, that was always one of our core use cases, that you could be playing a game online, and you could, pick up, be rewarded, or buy a physical asset in game. Using Boson. So, I mean, we are super excited at this new trend as well. Brilliant. I mean, in terms of Boson, from a product perspective, I mean, we have Boson Protocols, this sort of base layer solution for tokenizing physical assets. And then with the development of Fermion, which sits on top of Boson, so all transactions that go through Fermion are first tokenized on Boson. So it's very much a core part of the Boson ecosystem. Fermion enabling this sort of verification and fractionalization. How do you sort of perceive our kind of product position, and how is that being received by the market?
The product positioning for Boson, and then sitting on top the layer of Fermion for high ticket kind of luxury goods, I think is perfectly positioned for the market now. As I was sharing before, I think that brands now need new routes of meeting customers where they're at and then where they're going, especially with the crypto audience now having more liquidity, and then with the younger audiences being within gaming environments and having that be very native to how they discover and trade items. So I think where Boson and Fermion are going to break out from, I guess, the rest of the pack, so to speak, is that the product is actually built. The team is seasoned. And there's a high level of trust and strategic partnerships that are coming through. So you've got the product that works, you've got the trust within the ecosystem, and then you have some really exciting use cases, which I happen to know are coming down the pipeline. So I think that Boson and Fermion are going to be the de facto choice for luxury brands.
Brilliant. And I guess one final question. I think that I think one of the major changes that you've inspired to our strategy is how we go about reaching out to customers. And you're certainly keeping me very busy, and thank you for that in the next month, that's for sure. But can you talk about that that strategy for outreach and how you're sort of supporting? It's not just with the strategy, but the execution of it.
Happy to discuss about my thinking and my approach to the strategy as well as the execution. I spend a lot of my time bridging between the current status quo and then kind of where we're going next. And that manifests as spending a lot of time within thought leadership events, from hosting and co-organizing at Davos, the World Economic Forum, to the Financial Times Business of Luxury Summit, wherein I'm an advisor as well. And I think that what is really exciting, and my sort of approach, is spending time at these sort of thought leadership events, whether it be with the key builders at Davos, within the finance and product side, or the luxury brands that I'll spend time with in terms of my Financial Times role, is that both sides are excited and looking for a product that reaches consumers, the new luxury consumers where they're at, that offers new ways of consuming and trading, right? And as we see RWAs, real world assets, really, really being like the key narrative for the post web, which we'll, hear much more of in 2025. I think that Boson just is like this natural, really great meeting place of where the product and finance and then, the market is. And so I think that what we've needed almost in this intersection is something like a Fermion or a Boson that can connect between these different stakeholders. And I think that that's where 2025 is really going to be the year for Fermion and Boson.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Noelle. It's been great to talk to you, as always, and look forward to seeing you very soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Justin.